Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm 𝐶𝐿 𝐿. I'm a light worker and mystic, and I support the divine feminine in stepping fully forward into her spiritual mission and building a heart-centered business. So today I'm going to be a little bold and I'm going to make a statement that I wouldn't typically make. If you consider yourself a light worker or healer, or you say and you tell people that you are on a spiritual journey, you should be meditating. Now, for those of you who know me, you know that I don't throw around the word should often. I don't believe in shoulding on ourselves, if you will. But in this case, I'm making the exception because as a divine feminine, as a healer, as a light worker, you should have a meditation practice. But here's the beautiful part. The way in which you do that, how that's crafted and how that's cultivated, that's divinely unique for you. And you have options. Now, one of the key ways that we as light workers and healers get downloads and really can hear and lean into the whispers of our soul and the guidance of our spiritual support team is through meditation. But if you're here and you're watching this, something tells me that maybe you've gotten this nudge or this whisper before and you haven't followed through, or maybe you have followed through and it's just not working or it's not feeling good. So before I proceed, I do really want to invite you to let go of judgment. Whether you have a practice or not, doesn't matter. That's not the point of this video, and that's not who I am as a person. I don't go around shaming or judging people. Everybody on the planet is doing the very best that they can. But I am going to offer you a couple of ways forward, and I ask that you open your heart to fully receive them. And I ask that you then take steps that feel aligned for you and your soul's path. So in this video, I'm going to cover the point of meditation. I'm also going to share 3 of my most favorite types of meditation in hope that maybe you'll give some of them a try. And then I'm going to give some tips in how to cultivate and how to really gain confidence in your meditation practice. So first up, what is the point of meditation? Meditation is multifunctional. There's kind of nothing it can't do for you. You might use it to relax and slip into a deep sleep. Perhaps you use it when you're feeling really anxious and overwhelmed and it helps you ground. Maybe you use it when you're feeling low or depressed and it supports you in elevating your mood. Now, you can use meditation to get downloads from your higher self and your spiritual support team. You can use meditation also to reprogram pesky little habits of negative thinking. And then you can also use it to, go on journeys, go to other planets, into other dimensions, experience other timelines. So when you start to meditate, so much opens up for you. There's nothing that you can't do if you have a solid meditation practice. So I feel I went a little off script there, but to be honest, that's probably my second bold statement of this video, but also one that I back every single step of the way. So much has opened and become available to me as a result of my meditation practice. Okay, so now if you're thinking what I mean by meditation is that very Zen-like, yogi-looking individual sitting there, eyes closed, like her back's not killing her and that it's just easy, that's not what I'm getting at for you here today. In fact, that seated, silent, very stereotypical meditation is the most challenging in my opinion. And it's not really where many meditation practitioners begin. I know that I didn't start there. So I want you to let go of that being the only way of meditation, or if that's what you're aspiring to, I really want to invite you to do that in steps. For me, in order to get to the practice, the seated and silent practice that I have now, man, it took me about a year to really get into it. And I started with just becoming conscious and present of my breath for 10 rounds, and then I expanded from there. Okay, but 3 of the most common forms that I really like because they're easy, they're simple, they're so accessible to basically anybody. The first one is a moving meditation. Now, these aren't commonly acknowledged as meditation because a lot of these practices have become considered exercise by the Western world. And so I'm talking about practices like yoga, qigong, tai chi, even intuitive nature walking or going for a run outside. They have a very meditative nature to them because they focus on purging, circulating, tonifying, cleansing your energy. Basically, I look at moving meditations as getting you set up for that very Zen-like picture that many of us have in our heads when we think about meditating. But in a moving meditation, you begin to become acclimated to your inner power and your fire, and then you start to learn how you can channel it into creation. Okay? And if you've ever been to a yoga class, you have even experienced that before you do Shavasana, which is that peaceful final resting chapter or posture rather, and before you even get to the final seated meditation, you're moving the body through various asanas. So it's the movement that releases the energy, the pent-up density, or just, it doesn't have to be dense, just energy, that fire, so that you can come into silence and a seated stance. Seated stance? No, seated posture. There we go. So my second one, and well, all three of these are my favorites, so I can't really tier them, but I really do love this next one, and that's the guided journey or the guided meditation. And in fact, I love it so much that every single month in my monthly membership, Wild Hearted Collective, I release a new guided meditation. But guided meditations and journeys are typically centered around a theme. So you could find a guided journey and meditation that's going to support you in entering deep relaxation and therefore deep sleep. You can find them, you can access them anywhere, not just in my membership, but there's meditations on Spotify, here on YouTube, anywhere. But it might be that you find a meditation that connects you to your higher self, your angels, your spiritual support team, your ancestors, individuals who have crossed over, your dog. I mean, I know y'all love Sebastian. I've had meditation experiences where I have connected with him heart to heart and really felt what he is going through. All right. There's meditations that'll support you in doing cord cuttings or relationship healing. I know I have one of those and it's a very popular one. But really anything you can think of, any issue you have, anything you're struggling with, chances are someone has brought through a guided meditation to support you in getting to the other side. What's so powerful about guided journeys and meditation is that you can listen to the voice and follow the path that's offered to you. And that means you're less likely to get distracted and more inclined to get results. Okay? And then the third one that I want to offer you is mantra meditation. Mantra meditation is the repetition of a word, a phrase, an intention, anything that you want to really come into focus on and then turn up the volume, really amplify the energy. Now, I've used mantra meditation a lot because I've shared this quite a few times now on the channel. I am not a naturally positive person. I have had to do a lot of work on shifting my mindset from one of lack and negativity to one of positivity and abundance. And I did that through mantra meditation. Now, my key suggestion, because I know a lot of people have said, thank you so much for sharing that, Karen, that really resonates. I'm struggling to be positive. And they're struggling to kind of fit into the good vibes only in love and light culture. I so get you. I completely understand that. So my suggestion, if you want to use mantra meditation to reprogram your thoughts, really sit and develop a couple of key lines or key sentences or affirmations that you can turn to when you're in that meditative state. Because what I found is as soon as I slipped into silence or as soon as I went into my meditation, those negative thoughts would come flooding in. And in the beginning, I had to consciously kind of kiss them out of my awareness and usher in the positive ones. But it's hard to think of the positive ones in that moment. So develop them beforehand so you could retrieve them as you need them. Now, mantra meditation, the other part that I really just love so much about them is that you can use them to connect and access the energy of deities and other gods and goddesses. So I personally use the one Om Mani Padme Hum in order to connect with Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion. She's just a goddess that I feel such an affinity for. When I want to really deepen that connection with her, I come into meditation and I just chant that. Or sometimes I'll even put on Spotify and just listen to the chant from, I think it's Jane Winther, that I really love. I'll put a link to that down in the video description. Okay, but you're not limited to Kuan Yin unless she's your gal too. You can look up any god or goddess and just look at how people invoke them, look at how people call them in, and then consciously usher that in as well when you're meditating. Okay, so I've gone over the point of meditation, my 3 preferred ways of getting started. But knowing those ways of getting started is one thing. Putting this into action, taking this and actually following through with it is a completely different story. And I think that action step is so often where people get tripped up. So my first suggestion for you, if you're really ready to get started with meditation, I want you to really be patient with yourself and don't take this too serious, okay? Maybe you start with a mantra and you find yourself constantly tripping over the words. It happens, and it will happen as you're getting started. Be easy on yourself, okay? The whole point of the spiritual journey is never to be harsh, to shame yourself, to beat yourself up. No, my love. It's to be gentle. It's to go easy. It's to offer yourself grace and the opportunity to make mistakes, and no, it doesn't mean anything. Nothing hinges on it, okay? Remember that the next day is another opportunity to try again and get better at it. And I put get better at it in quotes because I think as long as you're making the effort, as long as you're really showing up to your practice, you'll get a benefit from it. And that, I think, the conviction and the commitment to it is half the battle, okay? Second suggestion is to just try some things. All right, you might have heard me say Qigong and you go and you YouTube Qigong and you're in the middle of it and you're like, yeah, I hate this. This is not for me. Then that's fine, okay? Rather than being down about what doesn't work, just go on a quest. Find what does, because there is something out there that's gonna feel so good and so aligned for you. Now, my third one, be flexible, and I don't mean physically, okay? I'm not a huge fan of those rigid challenges. They have a very patriarchal, toxic, masculine vibe to them. So here's what I do suggest. I think commitment is one thing, challenging and rigidity is a totally different one. So find what works, find a couple of things that work, and stick with it until it doesn't feel good anymore. And then try something new or switch it out. Maybe, you really love guided journeys, but the couple that you have fallen in love with, they stop getting the job done, if you will. So find new ones. Give yourself permission to not just be so intense about it. Give yourself the freedom to have fun with your meditation practice. Okay, and then the 5th one, and I do feel like I'm starting to feel a little bit like Nike lately, because my whole thing has become just do it. Just hit publish on your business or on your webpage, or just put the post out there. Just raise your rates already. But also here with your meditation practice, just do it. There are going to be an entire journal full of to-dos and things that you need to get done before you feel you can settle down and meditate. I'm going to invite you to meditate first, then go towards your to-do list. Every single thing on your list, everything you want to get done, every goal, dream, desire that you feel you need to achieve before you can really anchor into a meditation practice will be served if you meditate first, okay? So keep the dishes in the sink. Let your mom's phone call go to voicemail, let the kids fend for themselves, meditate, just sit, find what works, and do it. All right, now you can start your meditation journey right now. Download my free Goddess meditation. It's going to be down in the video description. You can access it quite easily through that link. If you feel called, I would love to hear how it resonates and how it feels for you. You can email me at info@KarenMonaco.com. All right, but with all that being said, that's all I have for you. I hope that this was helpful. If the video resonated with you, go ahead and give it a like or maybe make a comment. If you are really wanting to explore spirituality, spiritual service, and healing, hit subscribe and the little notification button so that we can hang together a little bit more often. But with that, thanks for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye.